Hi friends, it's Tanya here with My County Link, and today we are announcing our next Impactful Rippler. So our next Impactful Rippler is going to be Dr. Steve Gruber, and he has done amazing things not only in our county, but even out of our county and also across the country. So we're going to learn all the things that he has done and all of the ripples that he has created that will last a lifetime. So stick with me, and we're going to go surprise him. And if you've got an impactful rippler, please send those nominations to us. You can find that on our website at www.mycountylink.com, and there's a spot to choose for Impactful Rippler, and then you can nominate Impactful Ripplers. So keep in mind, Impactful Ripplers are not just do-gooders. They are people who actually do things that maybe the community doesn't even know about, and then those ripples just keep going and going and going. And so that's what an Impactful Rippler is, and that's why Dr. Gruber has been chosen today. So we're gonna go surprise him, and then we're going to meet him, and we're gonna learn about all the wonderful things that he's doing. So let's go surprise him. Hi, Dr. Gruber, how are you?
I'm just standing.
We are here to surprise you as our very next Impactful Rippler.
Oh my. You dirty bird.
So congratulations for
Thank
that,
you.
but we're going to cut for a second, kind of explain what we're doing, then we're going to talk with you if that's okay.
That would be fine.
Okay, very good. Hi friends, we are here with Dr. Steve Gruber, and he is our next Impactful Rippler here at My County Link. Now, he's been nominated for different reasons, and we've gone through everything on him, and we have chosen him as our next recipient. So first, congratulations, and thanks for taking the time. So we're going to go over a few of the things that I feel makes you an impactful rippler. So not only do you do great things here in Darke County, but you also do things in other countries, and you can kind of tell that those things are going to continue to ripple and ripple for people's lives that you may never even get to see come to fruition. So we're going to talk about some of those different things. But let's first start. Tell us about Garth's Museum. Tell us what you do there and some of the things that you see that happen there that you can see other people coming and visiting and learning and kind of rippling that out.
When I retired as a professor from Cedarville University, I was looking for something that would be rewarding and related to education. That's been my career in working with young people. And so I understood that there were field trips being taken to Garth's Museum by our fourth graders. And I thought, wow, that sounds interesting. So I went in and talked it over with the folks at Garth's Museum, and they were excited that I would be willing to do that. So I began to immerse myself in what Garth has to offer, all the different areas that we have. And I sort of also had a passion for the military. Having not served myself, I feel I had an obligation, though, to help promote the idea that the price of freedom isn't free, and that the people who serve us in the military need to be recognized. And we have a number of people living here in Darke County who have had tremendous distinguished service records that need to be told to the younger generation, so they understand that they too may be called upon at some point to serve their country, or they may volunteer to serve their country, and how that would be a very noble thing for them to do. But serving at the museum began to expand for me. With the more free time that I have, I could go over and help out with a variety of different things. Yesterday, for an example, we had to put all the Christmas trees away. We had many throughout the museum, and it was time for them to all get boxed up and put down in the basement. So just things like that that I've enjoyed, and currently I serve as the chairman of the board of directors for the museum.
I really would like to take this time to say that people really need to come out and see our Garth Museum.
Oh my!
It is.
Oh.
I've been to a lot of museums and a lot of different places. When we would travel, we'd always take our kids to museums to learn different things. And I think, hands down, we have one of the best museums, and just the different aspects inside of it. You can visit it more than once. I think like it's a continual thing. So then also when you were here, you also played a role with Special Olympics. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, being a school administrator, I was always concerned about those students that had special needs and what we can do to not only level the playing field, but just make them feel like they're a definite part of the school situation. And I know in some cases they're physically limited in what they can do athletically. I was a former coach and athletic director, so I know how important athletics are to a school atmosphere and so forth. And the Special Olympics gave me an opportunity to work with these kids in an athletic situation, and to love on them and recognize their efforts and give them the opportunity for a lot of recognition, to give them ribbons and just really make them feel that at least for that day they're part of the athletic community.
And I think that's also good for their families too, to
Yes.
come and to be able to cheer on their children and the community come alongside of that. And
Right.
yeah, the Special Olympics is just near and dear to my heart. We do horses, so there's a group that comes and with the Special Olympics, and they come in and they show horses.
Neat.
And so that's been a real
Sure.
there's just so many avenues other than just what you would think of sports of track or basketball, whatever. There's just they can find their own little niche and
Sure.
enjoy that as well.
Yes.
Okay, so let's also talk about I think you said in Ukraine and also say the word for it. Kosovo. Thank you for explaining that for me. So tell us a little bit about that, because I feel like that's something that a lot of people in this area probably don't know that you're a part of.
Okay. Well, as a professor at Cedarville, I had the opportunity to be a guest lecturer in the country of Ukraine. They, as an former Soviet Eastern Bloc country, wanted to understand how you could set up a curriculum that would promote ethics and integrity. There's historically, after the Soviets pulled out, that there was corruption, widespread corruption, especially in Ukraine. And so the educational leaders of Ukraine were wanting to know how it was that we could set up a curriculum where we teach students the value of telling the truth, the value of not cheating and stealing and so forth. And of course, Cedarville University is a faith-based organization, and we see as the bedrock of those character traits is a relationship with God. And so even though they have been traditionally an atheist country, they have a very long history of religious training and teaching and so forth. And so they were open to anything I had to say about the framework of a worldview that honors God and then recognizes the importance of the Ten Commandments and how they set a framework for how it is you operate your life. Was something that I was able to do in several different locations in Ukraine, and it was, from my opinion, very well received. It was certainly better than what they had had for the last many decades with corruption and so forth.
Right, because these young kids are growing up thinking this is their only way.
Yes.
And they're not even being taught
Right.
that there's a better way, that they can better their whole country.
Exactly.
And so those when you went over there, you also worked with a lady you had said that continues this, correct?
Well, in Kosovo, in this country, was part of the former Yugoslavia. And during the time of Slobodan Milosevic and the ethnic cleansing of the Christians versus the Muslims, there became a tremendous need for that ethnic group to have their own country. The United Nations got behind that and helped support that. And the nation of Kosovo started with literally nothing, but bombed out buildings, and a lot of their infrastructure had been destroyed, of course, during a war. And a number of the men, especially the younger men, were taken outside their communities and shot to eliminate them because they were Muslims. And the Christians who were invading their country didn't want them to continue to have more Muslim children, so the best way to do that is to kill the men. So that was a situation that really was begging for someone to come in and do some things to help the women who were widows and their young children. And Nadine Hennessy was that person. She went into Kosovo with a goal of supporting these women that were widows, doing whatever she could to provide child care so they could work. But then she moved on to deciding it would really, really be best for the country of Kosovo long term that if there could be a strong educational system. And so again, that was something that was of interest to me. Nadine is a Cedarville alum, and she came to my office and was talking to me about the needs that she had in starting a school, and she wanted to do it, of course, right. She wanted to be honoring to God and honoring to the citizens of Kosovo. So she didn't want a slipshod educational system. She wanted to do it right, just like we do here with all kinds of accreditation processes and supervision of your school to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And so I assisted in setting up that accreditation, those accreditation guidelines and so forth, and met with the government leaders both in the city of Mitrovica but also the new government of Kosovo. And they were very interested in what I was promoting. Again, saying that teaching subject matter is fine, but if it doesn't have a strong moral base to it, it's going to unravel. It's not going to be sustainable. It's not going to be really what you build a country on. And so today, the school has really flourished due to some fundraising efforts. A beautiful building has been built, and the students there are flourishing, and they are starting to, as Nadine foresaw and wanted, starting to take on leadership positions in the country of Kosovo.
Now, have you been able to visit there?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been there twice.
Okay. And so how long were you there? Because did you help with any teaching or just help get stuff set up?
Well, yeah, actually the first time I went, that was my primary reason for being there, was working with the teachers that she had and doing in-service training for them, and then modeling in front of their classrooms good teaching technique. So that's what I did the first time I went. And then Nadine said, Steve, I need you to come back. We got to do this right. To get the respect that we need to have to build our school upon, we need to set up a organizational plan and how it is that we're going to operate.
What a neat legacy that you've been a part of there, right? I mean,
Yes.
that will continue to come to fruition even beyond and beyond. And
That's our
who
dream.
knows where some of these kids, as they get older,
Sure.
what they're going to grow up and actually do and become. So.
Our sights are set on the at some point a president of Kosovo will be
Wouldn't
one
that
of
be
the
amazing though?
Yeah, would be one of the kids
That
that
would be
came through the
amazing.
program. Yeah.
So I know a little bit about Cedarville, as I was telling you earlier. So has any of the Cedarville kids gone? Has that been one of their missions? Because I know that they like to, they don't make anybody go, but they encourage and they give different opportunities. So so that's a place that is one of their missionaries that they can go be and do.
Well, and then Nadine constantly was working with me to get kids to go there and teach for at least a year.
Okay.
And so a number of her faculty, especially early on, were Cedarville grads.
Nice. That so just continues to ripple.
It does.
And continues to ripple. And then also I understand that you are the voice behind the big Cedarville, because they have a big track meet that a lot of the local schools go and they're at, and so you are the announcer at that.
Back when I was in junior high and high school, I started track and cross country career and graduated from Greenville, went to Cedarville, ran there, and I just felt as a faculty member a way I could give back. You can't have these meets without volunteers who'll come in and be timers and judges, and it just takes a lot of people to do that. And I went in and talked to the coaches and said, I'm here, what can I do? What do you want me to do? And they said, have you ever thought about being the announcer for the meets? And I go, no, I've not thought about that.
But I haven't thought about that one, but okay.
I said, well, you've got to teach your voice, and we think this would be something you could do. You're knowledgeable about the sport, and so we think you could do a good job at it. So I've done it now for several years.
I was just going to ask, how long have you done that? Okay.
Probably 10 years.
10 years. Okay. Very good. Well, now you can see why he was chosen as our Impactful Rippler. So just to go over again, Impactful Ripplers, we know there's a lot of do-gooders in the community, and we love those people, right? We hope that we're all do-gooders. Impactful Rippler, we try to find people who do things that maybe the general public just doesn't know about, right? So some people may know of some things you've done, but I'm going to guess that people watching this probably didn't realize all the things that you have done. So we want to give a big congratulations and a thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes.
It's certainly an honor.
Oh, it's wonderful to have you be our next recipient of an Impactful Rippler. So keep staying with us, and we will be announcing our next Rippler soon.